There are very few kids movies from the late 90s and early 2000s that stick out to me, like Inspector Gadget in 1999. I remember all the toys that came out with the movie, and I collected them all. This one is absolutely my favorite. Whenever movies I loved as a kid came out with a sequel, I was excited every time. In cases like The Mummy Returns, I was quite excited. Boy, did it pay off. In other cases like George of the Jungle 2, I was not so excited. Good God. Inspector Gadget 2 was no different. I was very excited. The movie was released direct-to-video on March 11th, 2003, 4 years after the original. The movie was poorly received, earning a 40% on the tomato meter and a 23% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Over the years, I've always heard talks about how horrible this movie was, but all I could recall was how much I watched this movie on tape and how much I loved it. Could it really be as bad as everybody says? Boy, we're gonna find out. Let's rewatch it today together and see what we come across. All right, Joey C, roll the tape.
Evil's afoot.
You know, I just want to know why they casted French Stewart. It's not bad particularly. I mean, it is a kid's movie, so it's meant to be goofy. I just think it feels so weird. From Matthew Broderick to him, I did read, however, that Matthew Broderick was slated to return for the sequel, but ultimately backed out. I just want to know why.
And speaking of crime, potential lawbreaker at 12 o'clock. Posted at 25 miles per hour. 25.3 miles.
Typical cops, man. I just want to understand what's happening here. Is this some sort of commentary on the extreme measures that police take sometimes? I don't have a clue. All I know is somebody better investigate Inspector Gadget. Good Lord.
Prepare for high-speed chase.
So, in order to catch this lady from speeding, Inspector Gadget is going to speed himself to catch up to the alleged speeding lady. Again, typical cops, man. And on top of that, this guy's going to strap a nuclear fucking missile to the back of his car. How far ahead can the old lady be? Good Lord.
Yeah, a likely story. Go Gadget handcuffs.
I've seen your type before. What are you doing here?
Isn't today a school day?
So this one's pretty cool. The actress who plays Penny is the same actress who played Karen in Phantom of the Megaplex, which I did an entire video about, so you should check that one out. Or don't. I don't care. I do care. I do care. I shouldn't say that I don't care. But if you don't want to, that's okay too. We're gonna move on. Let's play it.
Baxter, I'm still having gadgets with my glitches. I mean, glitches with my gadgets. Go Gadget toothbrush. Gadget! My mother in jail for drag racing?
So watching old Frenchie Stewart do his thing, I can't help but notice the similarities between him and Ernest P. Worrell. And God knows old Frenchie is trying, but nobody could touch the comedic timing and genius of Jim Varney. Rest in peace to Ernest P. Worrell.
You'll never guess what happened. Claw escaped.
Dial 911 immediately. He's extremely dangerous.
So in the cartoon of Inspector Gadget, they kept Claw's face completely covered the entire time. And if you recall, in the first Inspector Gadget movie, they ignored that completely and showed his face fully. I don't know if diehard fans were upset about that, because in this movie, they keep Claw's face completely covered the entire time. Which I kind of dig, man, going back to the source material.
Wowzers. You don't think he's still holding a grudge, do you?
Brick! Retrieve my dogs!
With a deposit of over $5 trillion in pure gold.
We directly over Riverton. Ion-fueled cells, void laser, and a ruby.
So in order to rob the Federal Reserve, which is in their town because they have the lowest crime rate in the country, which is weird in and of itself because you have a literal super villain living in your town, but anyhow, they need this satellite to be exactly in this particular spot in Earth's orbit. They need a laser and a ruby and nuclear power cells. I'm not quite sure I understand what their plan is.
But in light of Claw's escape, we decided to move up our timetable.
This is Gadget Model 2.
G2 reporting for duty.
Oh my God, Gadget 2 is kind of sexy. Good Lord. Wait a second, is that the stepmom from Parent Trap? Oh my God, it's Elaine Hendricks. She is in Parent Trap. Good Lord, she's kind of a smoke show. How you doing?
I appreciate the offer, Inspector, but I work alone.
Gadget, is this true? They're giving the Claw case to this G2 character? Since you're off the case, I guess you wouldn't want to see this clue that I found about Claw.
Claw clue? It's a clue about Claw?
You know, I'm really not too sure what the point of this delivery is, but this delivery that he gives is so fucking funny. I don't know if he's just trying to be goofy or showcase his glitches that get worse as the movie goes along, but regardless, I like it. That's funny, old Frenchie. That's funny.
If I went to the Blue Monkey, it might just lead me to Claw.
Ah, yes. A reference to the Blue Monkey. Not the first time the Blue Monkey has been referenced in the year 2003. It's also mentioned in the absolute classic movie, Looney Tunes Back in Action. And goddamn, I should cover that movie because that's amazing.
Hi there, fellas.
Go Gadget, duck!
Well, that guy did have a Confederate flag on his bandana, so he kind of deserved to be punched. And I love the use of the term, wow. It's giving Three Stooges. Absolute outrageous kids fight scenes are my favorite to watch because they are way over the top. Wow.
The cops! Come on! This way! Hurry! Come on!
Get out of here, quick! Stop this felonious and unlawful act or I shall have to use force.
Wowzers, she's good. I'm just saying that maybe we could work alone together.
Great work, G2! You can stake it out and catch him red-handed.
She certainly is well-equipped, isn't she?
What do you mean, well-equipped? What do you mean by that, Inspector Gadget? This is a kid's movie. She's not well-equipped with anything.
I'm gonna need some authorization.
Good. Now bring me the ion fuel cells.
Stop this felonious and unlawful act or I shall have to use force.
What in the actual hell is going on? A cut-in-half body that's fighting henchmen? This movie has really gone off the rails because, good Lord, what is happening?
Let's get out of here. Come on.
They're getting away.
Not to worry, G2.
You told me not to get within 100 yards of the stakeout. Go Gadget turbo speed.
Next, to build my super weapon.
Go, Mom, get away! Hurry!
I feel like the normal thing to do in this particular situation of these henchmen stealing this laser in broad daylight in public is to just stop and scream and point at them. But that might be too logical for this movie.
Brush twice a day!
You can't fire me. I quit.
Ah, the classic part of every cop movie where the good cop loses his badge for reasons outside of his control. It also happened in the 2004 classic Starsky and Hutch, which I also covered, and you should watch that video.
Gadget's goose is cooked. More like...
Say what you want about this movie, but I often pause movies and read their newspapers that show up on screen. And like I did in the original Inspector Gadget movie, which I also covered, here's the clip. This one said he stole the hearts of 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. Oh my God, that's super creepy. What the fuck? But I gotta say, I'm very impressed because everything that's written in this news article makes sense for the story, so that gets a gold star for me.
Gadget out of the way. It should be smooth sailing from here on.
So throughout the movie, I've been wondering, when does this take place? But according to this other newspaper article that they show on screen, it has to take place before September 20th, 1998. And I'm not sure if that's important at all to the story, but all I know is every time they have like a news conference in the movie and you see a camera go off, it looks like they live in the 1940s. So I'm not sure what universe this takes place in.
Window washer, huh? Dog catcher. I'll never be a crime fighter.
Go away, Brain.
My gadget in Christ, your niece is crying and running away, and you're laying in bed having a pity party? My guy, be a parent. Good Lord.
G2, are you any closer to capturing Claws?
I'm on the case.
Are you any closer to capturing Claw? I'm on the case. No, ma'am, that didn't answer the question, like, at all. It's a yes or no.
I know this one. The ruby.
I'm here. Good evening. Good evening.
Greetings, man.
So, hang on, let me get this straight. Gadget 2 is getting deactivated because Dr. Claw pulled out a giant magnet and stole the ruby in the middle of whatever conference this is. It's not like she did anything wrong. The guy had a giant magnet, and the hundreds of people that were around her, they could have easily tackled him or anything. You could have done literally anything. But now she's suffering because she got captured by a giant magnet? My guy, she's a robot. She's made of metal. What do you expect? Good Lord, she didn't do anything wrong. Justice for G2, baby.
Brain, take a look at this. Fuel cells. That's what Claw stole from the warehouse.
Well, I hate to see a good detective get recycled.
Hang on. If I'm not mistaken, Inspector Gadget got fired as a policeman, which means he no longer has access to the police lab. So you're telling me he broke into a secure police lab to reactivate G2? That just sounds like a felony arrest coming his way. Good Lord, that's out of control.
Ready?
Ready.
Behold, the greatest.
This movie is so out of its mind, but I feel like you have to be out of your mind to be an adult and enjoy a kid's movie. This guy has a bowling pin laser? Good God, this guy is the greatest supervillain for a kid's movie ever. Good God.
Let's kick some claw tail.
Meet the time displacement laser.
Well, bring on the noise and bring on the funk, because I'm bringing out what's in my trunk.
Ohio license plate. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I don't have any beef with Ohio. It's just, I didn't expect this movie to take place in Ohio. That seems a bit odd. So hang on, let me get this straight. You need a laser, a ruby, a satellite, and nuclear power to shoot a laser beam at a particular satellite to shoot back a beam that freezes people in place? How does that make sense? How does that work? Also, this theme was also used a year before in 2002's Clock Stoppers, which also stars French Stewart. And I covered that movie too, and you should check out that video. I'm just saying, this evil plan is probably worse than in 1997 when Mr. Freeze wanted to freeze all of Gotham with a gun and a satellite or whatever he used. I don't know. I'm all fucking confused here.
Oh, there's no time to waste. We gotta stop Claw and rescue Penny.
Looks like the Federal Reserve is having a 100% off sale! In fact, the jig is just starting! You want me to play?
You know, they did a really bad job covering Dr. Claw's face in most of the movie, specifically this scene, because I can see a good chunk of his face. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but we're just gonna call it artistic.
Let me give you something from this year's model.
G2, but then you might get the glitches.
So all it took to stop Inspector Gadget's glitches was to give him a new G2 chip. I feel like if that was fixed in the beginning of the movie, it would eliminate the entire plot of the movie. Instead, they threatened to cut all the funding, and they even built an entirely new Inspector Gadget to solve the problems that could have been solved if you just gave him a new chip 3 minutes into the movie? What?
Stop the truck and come out with your claw up!
Congratulations, Gadget.
And I'd like to announce...
So that was it! Inspector Gadget 2, released direct to video in 2003, and boy is it quite different than the original. I feel like the first one is remembered quite fondly, but this one does have some crazy negative reviews and feelings about it. And honestly, I loved it as a kid, as I said. But as an adult, it brought me right back to the joys and peace of being a carefree kid. It brings me back to a more simple time, when we all weren't so afraid of life and where we're supposed to be, man. Let's just go back to those times. Take a deep breath, let go of attachments, be love, and just cherish the precious moments. Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary, gender fluid, and everybody else in between, that was revisiting Inspector Gadget 2. Boy, I had a lot of fun. If you want to support the channel, you can head on over to patreon.com/officialjoeyc for all your exclusive Joey C needs. You could also become a YouTube channel member. That would be pretty cool too. But if you don't want to pay to support, you can also just hit the like button or the subscribe button. We're almost at 4,100 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. You can also follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/officialjoeyc. I'd love to have you over there. We have a lot of fun over there. And folks, with that, I leave you with one thing, okay? Cherish the precious moments, be love, and stay, dude. I'm out of here. Good Lord, I'm getting kind of sweaty in here. Let's turn off this green screen. Good Lord, it's good to have you back, old greenie. How are you? Alrighty, is that cat pee? Oh my God, it is. Okay, I got to get out of here. See you later.